is true media centric. This is like they used to call a scientific wrestling match. A couple of good guys, and that's my book, Whatever It Takes. And there are relics around of my service in Washington. This is the new makeshift nook. Back in the last year of Newsmax television, it was over here to my left in a little more telegenic nook here at the house. But so you're a Milwaukee guy, or
I'm in Milwaukee, originally Chicago, but I've been here most of my life up in
cool.
Yeah, if I show you outside. Where are you now, Phoenix?
I am in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona.
Do you see the snow out there?
Buddy, yeah, but here's the thing. This is why my grandparents loved Milwaukee, because like you, they made the pilgrimage from Chicago. My granddad was director of scouting for the Cubs when I first arrived on the planet, and he moved to the Milwaukee Braves, and every Monday there would be a case of Miller on the doorstep.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. What year was that?
This would have been, let's see, I arrived in 58, so I think he went with the Braves in 61.
Well, they were just come over from, they came over and won the pennant in 57.
Sure did, 57, 58, yeah.
Yeah, and they lost in 58, but they moved from Boston. I just wrote a book on that.
Oh, how cool, I got to get it.
Well, you look more TV than I do, and it bothers me because
I don't know, pal. You've got that very hip salt and pepper thing, kind of like Spock in Mirror, Mirror. That little, goatee from the Empire. As
I like that. Yeah. Nobody tells me that, but I want to talk about your grandfather. He had a pretty big career in the bigs, 15 years.
Yes.
He was a long time with Detroit. Like it seemed like 10 years with Detroit. What was
caught up in 26 when he was 22, and Ty Cobb was the playing manager.
Get out of town.
Tyrus Raymond Cobb calls up Raymond Hall Hayworth. My granddad was catching in the Texas League at the time. He says, "Hey, you don't know hot till you catch 2 games of a doubleheader in Shreveport in day baseball in summer
in a full wool uniform."
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And these kids are so spoiled today. But he had a nice career. I mean, to hang around. He played with Leo DeRocher. He played with Hank Greenberg.
Greenberg, Charlie Gehringer, the 2 Hall of Famers on his 35 World Series team. I got to go back, and I got a crew from WDIV Channel 4 Detroit and chronicled their great reunion. This would have been June 12th, 1983. And I got to talk to Hank Greenberg about his greatest memory. And he said, they won it all they won the pennant in 34, lost to the Gas House Gang, won it all the next year in 35. And then he said in 44, he was listening to the series Armed Forces Radio in Burma. Wow. But he makes it back the next year in time to join the team, get a couple of key hits, and play in the 45 series.
Well, it's just storybook. What was it like growing up knowing that your grandfather played? And did your dad play? And did you play?
My dad, I was a guy who did not have my granddad's arm down to second. I was also an offensive tackle shot putter, and so this elbow was carrying glass from an incident. I'll spare you the story. At any rate, no, I did not get the DNA to make the throw to second or hit the curve. My dad was not a great athlete per se, but by osmosis, by hanging out when my granddad managed the Fort Worth Cats and won the Texas League after the war with a young outfielder by the name of Edwin Snyder. Mm-hmm. And Monty Baskell, who of course was on Tommy Lasorda's staff as pitching coach later in the 80s. Anyway, between that and all the other stops, my dad is in the Army, in the Caribbean Command, in the Panama Canal Zone, and he manages that team to the Caribbean Series championship just by hanging out in the clubhouse.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's something.
My book last year was on County Stadium. It's about the history of Milwaukee County Stadium.
Stadium, baby. The Perinis own the team, and my granddad's youthful nemesis, Bertie Tibbetts.
Sure.
They were buddies, but Bertie, believe it or not, my granddad broke a bone, after those great years in the mid-30s. He broke a bone in his arm challenging a foul tip. And the Tigers decided he was too old. And who did they bring in as part of the youth movement? Bernie Tibbetts. So that tells you how long ago this was. Yeah.
I'm never, I don't know why I'm so enamored with baseball. Do you still find yourself, is that your game? Do you have another game, or what is?
I obviously I was a football player that paid for my education. I was a pretty good shot putter.
North Carolina?
Carolina. I'm an NC State guy, but North Carolina, the first indoor championship in track, and I won as a junior in 1975. Not huge putts, 52 feet or whatever, but I enjoyed that. But baseball is America's game, and I was blessed. My career, man, when I was out here as the sports anchor at Channel 10, I actually scored the gig before MLB vertically integrated everything. I actually did Chicago Cubs Cactus League play-by-play for the little station down in Coolidge, Arizona, KCKY. They had it all worked out. And so I would do Cactus League games when Harry and the Cubs were not on WGN, which was most of the time. I got to do that for 2 years. And then when the vertical integration came and MLB was handling the Arizona Fall League, I was the inaugural voice of the Fall League, and the management at Channel 10, our news director, Dave Howell, was so great. He would send the trucks because I was doing 2 games a day. I do an afternoon game on one station. They get the truck to the place for the nightcap, so I'd be able to do my sports in either location, around the Fall League schedule. So I love baseball on the radio. There is no better game for pacing, for communicating, for sharing just the Americana and the everyday experience of baseball, which separates it from every other game. You're playing every day.
Yeah.
And you're playing a game that its very nature allows huge guys like Frank Howard and Randy Johnson to excel, and smaller guys. You remember Freddie Patek, the
Boston
shortstop, and then with the Royals, I believe he was a middle infielder. Yeah, so you get everybody in that game based on eye coordination and certain talents that eluded me, but I truly enjoy it as a fan, and I love doing it on the radio. Great fun.
But you did both? You did television as well?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the difference in terms of how you handle the broadcast.
Well, radio is a much more intimate medium. Television is like a stage play or movies. Makeup, lighting. To get to the conceit, I take off my glasses, I need these cheaters now to read, but television is more of a formalized presentation for newscasts, for interviews, for all of that. Radio, for example, I just got a call or I just got a text this morning. I was in another Zoom meeting. I've got to prepare to go do afternoon drive at the Salem News Talk station here in Phoenix, KKNT.
Sure.
It'll be a more intimate thing. I'll observe basic hygiene, but I won't have to have on makeup. Radio is an intimate medium where it's you and me.